Welcome back to another episode of the Know Your Power podcast. I'm your host, Julia Renee.
And Kendall Leah.
And today is episode number... Three?
Yeah.
Okay. Of the Getting Shredded series. What did we talk about last week?
We talked about how to exercise to get shredded.
Yeah, we talked about...
Week before that was nutrition.
And then nutrition. Jeez, I don't know how you remember these.
It's been 2 weeks.
I know.
This is all I do, okay?
I don't remember what I did this
You're
morning.
much busier than me.
I guess so. Yeah, I forget. When the videos post, I'm always like, oh, yeah.
No, what I forget is what I say. So, like, I listened to the Barbie one that for you guys came out last week on my way here because it just came out today. Weird podcast universe.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't even remember having these opinions or that part of the movie, but I was very adamant about talking about it, I guess.
I definitely black out and then I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, we did it. So
the podcast where I am more conscious and like thinking about what I'm saying, I stutter more. I don't talk as well.
Yeah, they're not as good because you're just overthinking what you're saying and if it's going to sound right. And at this point, I'm like, I don't even care if what I say sounds right anymore. I just want it to
We're
come
just here
out.
for the vibes.
Yeah, as long as I get it out.
I think in the beginning too, like you're used to YouTube, so you're used to being on camera. I remember the first few episodes, I can't even go back and watch. Like I was overly conscious of like how I looked on camera. I was like, how am I sitting correctly? And now I'm like slouching and don't care and like whatever.
Breathing into the mic like.
Yeah, exactly. My cough drops the last few episodes too. Like
Did you hear it?
I've given up. It wasn't as bad as you said it was gonna be.
Mouth noises
like
creep me out.
No, me too, which is why I was like hypersensitive.
Yep.
Anyway, what are we talking about today?
Today we're going to do 5 weight loss mistakes. Things that you might be doing, things that you have thought about doing.
Things we've probably done.
Things that we've done. And yeah, we're going to go over them, kind of go in depth about them. So let's get into it. Number 1, I have a pen in my hand right now and I'm using it like a teacher. And I'm like,
teacher energy.
It's giving teacher vibes.
We have to get you one of those like long sticks with like the point finger on the end. So
I need a pointer. Like
we can put notes up here.
There is this YouTube video that exists on my YouTube channel of me dressing up as a teacher.
Really?
And using a whiteboard to teach people about recovery. And I got fake glasses and I wore a button up and I wore a hat. Yeah. So that exists on YouTube if you want to go find it.
I will go watch it.
Yeah, it's really funny. Anyways, mistake number 1, people focusing on training before diet. Thoughts?
We talked about this one last week a little because it's just how it is. This was, a personal example, if this motivates you by any means. This is one I messed up on heavily. Yeah. And I was literally telling a client yesterday how much I regret it because he was saying like, oh, I regret not starting like my workout journey earlier or younger. And I was like, I started young, but my regret was not doing enough research because I spent several years training my ass off. Yes. I was like doing Stairmaster 40 minutes a day, every day, like so motivated. And that's when you can make the most newbie gains. But I was only focusing on that and not nutrition. So I would like train my ass off, 40 minutes of Stairmaster, go home and eat like a tub of pasta. And I was gaining weight, not seeing any results. And I regret that so heavily. Yeah. So if there's anything to take away, that is both are important, obviously, but nutrition is honestly more important.
Yeah. I mean, if we're talking of order of importance, it goes diet, training, which is like can be weightlifting, cardio, whatever form of training you want to do, then supplementation. Like I see a lot of people starting their weight loss journey with just following whatever workout plan that they maybe see online, doing a ton of cardio. We all know the like cardio bunny phase. All of us have done it. We've all done it before. Don't even pretend. And then we're so quick to like take our credit card out and buy literally anything that can get us to that result faster. And that's usually like why supplementation people, I feel like, put training and supplementation first, or they put like supplementation first and then it's like training and then it's a good diet last.
I think a lot of people hear fat burner and they're like, oh, if I take that and continue my like sedentary lifestyle, I'm going to get results. And because it's like, no.
Honestly, we just want the easiest route possible. Like who doesn't? Like we live in an Amazon world where I literally just bought like a birthday present for Zach. Here, I'm going to lower my voice. I bought a birthday present for Zach because I didn't know what to get him because he's so hard to shop for because he doesn't.
All men are.
He doesn't want anything.
Yeah.
Like literally, I want
humble king.
I want all the things.
Yeah, insane.
Like
I pretend I don't. I'm like, oh, you don't have to.
No,
Please get me everything.
Here's a printed, organized list, and it's also color coded. I'm that person, and I always have it on deck. So I literally like Amazon world. I literally bought. Because our coffee machine, he hates it. Mm-hmm. He just misses because it's like an espresso and it's like fancier, and he just misses his like OG Keurig where he could just put a pod in and like press a button.
They're honestly easy, yeah.
And so ours is just like on the fritz where it'll literally start on its own. I swear,
that's scary.
Our house has a ghostie. And our ghostie
that loves coffee
and wants to watch what it wants to watch on TV because it will switch channels. We'll be on Netflix and it'll go to Disney Channel. Disney Plus.
That would freak me out.
So yeah, speaking of we live in an Amazon world, I literally ordered his birthday present. It's going to be here like today. So we want our fitness results as fast as our Amazon orders come because we're living in a society right now to where if we want it, we get it. And I'm thinking about like the, what's that song? Ariana Grande.
I know what you're talking
like
about.
it.
Yeah.
I see it.
I want it.
I don't know what it is. I
got it.
I don't even like Ariana Grande.
I don't either.
Chloe hates that I hate Ariana Grande. I don't hate Ariana Grande. I think she has a beautiful voice, beautiful face.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. Don't come after me. Don't come after me.
Don't like her because of the recent news and everything coming out with her kind of being a homewrecker and a cheater.
We need to do a whole episode of just like drama, like
pop culture stuff.
Pop culture drama.
I would love that.
Okay, because I live under a rock, so I never know what's going on unless it has to do with bodybuilding. I'm like, huh?
A lot of the content I intake, I think I surprise people because I know like all, like the like big TikTokers, you think of TikTokers, you think of like Charli D'Amelio, like Addison Rae. I'm like in that age category where I love keeping up with their like BS.
Oh, really?
So like most people wouldn't think
sense.
I know all the dating history and like all the crossovers, like things that
the one thing I
don't need to know
is that Addison Rae's mom and dad, they got divorced, and the dad's dating this like super young girl, and the mom is like going out and like having her. But I don't even know if that's recent.
No, it's not. But he's very cringy, and like, yes, part of me would love to. Like, I don't care, but for some reason, I always like stay updated on all of it.
That's the thing is like we all. Why there's a reason we like TikTok drama. There's a reason we were talking about this before. There's so many like fitness accounts that are popping up of like not even just fitness, just exposing channels. I listen to a ton of them on YouTube, and they're like documentary style to where they'll go through this like person's like whole YouTube career or something and like how they ruined it. Like we as a site, like we love the drama, especially if our life is boring at the time. We're like, where's the drama?
Where's the tea?
Where's the tea? Even if you're really like, I don't necessarily like you think you don't care about it, but it's just like, intriguing.
I watched this whole, do you know Johnny Manziel?
I think so.
The football player?
Yes. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Like, I didn't know who he was, but there's a documentary on Netflix about how he basically ruined his football career, and I was so invested. Do I care about this man?
Where is this?
Do I know this man?
Netflix? Okay, I'm going to go watch it.
It's honestly really good. Yeah. The man's just such an idiot. Really, really, really talented athlete. Yeah. Threw it all away.
That's usually like the things that I watch. That's how it happens. Yeah. Like they're literally got millions of followers on you. It's just like the fame stuff is usually the story is that the fame like gets to their head and then they like throw it all away for money. Like they put their values and their beliefs.
You would love this
in the trash.
This documentary.
Yeah, it's for just
he took
money
it to the
and fame
extreme.
and fortune. Yeah, and it's like cynically. People like to see people fail. And that's why these things are so popular. And I'm not saying that I love seeing people fail. I don't whatsoever. I always like with anyone who's in controversy, I'm always thinking like, I worry about the people that are in the controversy as well, obviously, because I worry about their mental health. I worry about their mental health because I know it's a tough place to be. This went on a
A huge
complete
tangent.
but we should probably talk about this in a whole episode.
We
Kendall
could.
teaches Julia pop culture because Julia lives under a rock.
It's weird because I don't know like mainstream pop culture, but I know like TikTok pop culture, if that makes sense.
Well, literally TikTok is
pop culture.
becoming like people's source of information.
There's this girl.
It's becoming like Google.
There's this girl that is like a professional newscaster. I don't know where or like on what, but she makes these little episodes of like making news for Gen Z. And I'm not kidding. The way she says things makes
genius.
me listen. She's like, oh, so this guy like totally messed up. So he did, and like just the way she approaches it makes you actually want to. She's like, okay, he gaslit this whole government.
I was just going to say, he gaslit this government and then his trauma caused him to do X, Y, and Z.
But it makes me retain it. That's because that's
Gen Z talk.
Yeah, that's how we speak. So it's a lot easier to intake versus like when someone goes on like a very long, like very serious rant, I'm like, I lost half of that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what words you're using.
Like there's these like YouTube channels that I love watching. One of them is
It's okay.
Oh my God, he's so cute. What is his name? His catchphrase is "Let's get into it."
I wouldn't know. My YouTube.
I'm
preferences
sorry, but
are
I have
obscure.
to because I need to give this guy credit.
You're
this
good.
has nothing to do with the episode. His name is Sloan.
Okay.
And he does like 8-minute videos about like what's going on in pop culture, digestible for me. And I'm like, oh, this is so cool. I was like, I didn't know any of this. Like, just like little stuff like that because like our attention span is so small.
I like that this has to do with
this has nothing to do with, this went from supplementation and just
a good tangent.
Us wanting to buy everything. But yes, people focusing on training before diet. If you want to be like 10 million steps ahead of everybody else, start with diet first. Do the research. Potentially get a coach if that's something that you can do. There's no excuse for finding out information because we can literally Google anything and have 10 steps on like how to do these things so simple. A couple of people that I want to say that I love watching for great information on YouTube, if you're someone who's visual and likes to learn stuff, Greg Doucette,
Jeff Nippard, Stephanie Buttermore. She's great at giving like educational science-based stuff. Oh, there's one more. We can put them in the description
we'll put them in the description. But yes, so make sure that you tap into that nutrition side of things first before you like whip out your credit card and like buy all these supplements. Because what I see that happens, and I did the same thing, I was like, oh, these supplements will make me build muscle, make me burn fat, make me be skinny.
Buys one for
and then
each.
I buy all of the things and then they sit there and then I don't use them and then I don't know how they work. So, and then I feel like I've wasted money. So diet, training, supplementation.
Amen.
Would you like to do tip number 2?
Tip number 2. I haven't read them yet.
It's not even tip. It's mistake.
Not. Mistake number 2. Sorry. Getting healthy confused. What does this mean? It means that you consume/buy foods that are deemed as healthy without looking at the nutrition label, then assume that since it's healthy, quote unquote healthy, that you will reach your goals. This is a really good one.
Yeah.
I want to add like, one we're filming later today is on like TikTok overrated and underrated trends. And a lot of them are like those diet culture foods. I know that's not specifically what this is saying, but like even protein bars and like some other things that are like, this is low calorie are pumped with so many other things that like make you bloated, make you retain water.
No, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, that
I didn't read ahead yet.
You're right on the money. Like the example that I used is that for example, okay, I have a hair inside of my nostril. Okay, if anyone doesn't know, I got 24-inch extensions.
You can see them if you're on YouTube.
If you can see that, you can't. They go further down on the video if you're watching on our YouTube channel, but they're so long. It's so hot, but I had the need. And I had to keep my hair down because it looks just so fabulous.
No, yeah,
even though I'm sweating and dying. So getting healthy confused. Like Kendall is saying, there's so many like labels and things and calories and this and that. A food that is commonly, also your nails look fire.
Thank you.
Also, a food that is commonly labeled as healthy is peanut butter. And I disclaimer, I'm not saying not to eat peanut butter.
Oh,
but what I'm saying is that if you take like a Jiffy peanut butter, 2 tablespoons is, I wrote this down, 190 calories. And then if you go to the healthier version, which has like less additives, less sugar, stuff like that, because like the Jiffy one, the reason it tastes so good is because they add a bunch of sugar to it. But the thing is there's also, if you're in a diet and you choose to use like peanut butter on your oats or something like that, you can easily go over in the amount of calories that you're supposed to have for your caloric deficit.
It's really hard to like weigh something like peanut butter too, or get a precise amount.
Well, because when you're putting peanut butter in a tablespoon, you have to put it in a tablespoon, slide the extra off, then scoop it out. It's like, oh my God. It's a whole thing to measure peanut butter. But then if you go and you buy like the Justin's natural peanut butter, which is supposed to be the healthier version, granted, it has like that film, on the top, which is like the oil, and you mix it in and yada, yada, yada. It's actually 210 calories for 2 tablespoons. So why is this healthier version more calories than the one that has added sugars and stuff like that to make it taste better?
Yeah.
It's like super confusing.
Yeah. It makes like neither of those sound like a good option.
Yeah. It's like, okay, if I get the healthier version, it's more calories, but it has less additives. If I get the one that has a little bit more additives, it's less calories. Yeah. It's like, shit, what do we do?
I distinctly remember this. I had like a biology teacher in high school, like probably my freshman year. And I don't know why we were speaking on it. I guess it pertains to biology, but she went on this whole tangent for like a week of lessons talking about how like foods that are deemed as like fat-free and stuff like that are so much worse for you, like actual like internal health wise, because they're doing so many unnatural things to those foods to manipulate those options. I think that's why it was biology. She was like talking about the actual like manipulation of genes for those foods, which is crazy to think about. And my brain was like, well, no, of course I'm going to pick the 0 calorie option. Of course I'm going to pick the fat-free option. Like that's what dieting culture is. But in reality, recently I've been looking at all my food choices and I've cut a lot of those like really manipulated foods out, and my gut health is a million times better. And that's something like I forget, and I think a lot of people forget, like you might be bloated at the end of every day because you're either intolerant to something you're eating or you're eating so many different processed foods that are presenting themselves as natural.
I am a huge fan of those 0 calorie, all the things, meaning like I'm not saying I'm a huge fan in the sense of like I will eat all of my things that are like that.
Yeah.
But if I am in a diet phase and I'm going to get like some sort of like snack or something, I'm not going to lie, I always go and choose those things.
I do too.
And Kendall, it loves doing those things too. Like, especially when we were going to Houston so much and we were spending a lot of time with like our best friend, Erica, we would go to the grocery store and we would get all these like lower calorie snacks and things. But you're right. There's a balance between like using those when you are wanting to curb some sort of like craving, but then using so many of them to where it hurts your digestion.
It used to be my whole diet.
Yeah,
like I lived on protein bars and like that was not good for me. I think having a little bit is fine.
Yeah. I would see like an average like day would look like it would be energy drink, of course, 0 calorie energy drink. Then you have like all the stuff or whatever. And I can't tell you the last time I had a not 0 calorie drink. Which is just like a part of what I do now. And then it would be like 0 calorie snacks, all of these things but I love them. I love to use them where I can in ways to save on calories.
Yeah.
But then making sure that I'm still having a bunch of whole foods. So like if your whole diet during the day is like a bunch of packaged things and processed things, like say you're doing like your breakfast, which is like Kodiak cakes, which is packaged. Then you go into your lunch and you're doing like a packaged meal that you got from H-E-B or from Whole Foods and you scan it. And then for dinner, maybe you're eating out or you're doing something that's also packaged and has like a barcode scanner. I always think of like a barcode scanner because those things have a bunch of like additives in it. And this is where people get healthy confused. There was one time that I went to Whole Foods. And Whole Foods is supposed to be like the pinnacle of health. And I was looking at all of the stuff and all of the ingredients that goes into it. And there was 2 different options. And I was like, wait, this one has a label on it that says like organic and this and that and all of these things. And it's actually worse than the thing that has no labels on it or whatsoever.
I mean, that's what marketing is made to do. Like they're made to present as healthier because they know that we're living in a time where we're opting for the healthier choice. So like, of course they're going to play into that and like almost like play on our emotional side of buying things and go for the healthier look, even if they're not. So yeah, always read nutrition labels. And I'm definitely not saying like, if you're watching this, like this is the Getting Shredded series. Like we're here to not always make what's best for like our internal health, but like what's going to get you results. And yes, like 0 calorie substitutions are typically better for that type of result. Just make sure it's not your whole diet. Like Julia's saying, like we still eat a good 90% of our day will be homemade, like natural food, a lot of vegetables, a lot of protein, a lot of like normal carbs, like potato, rice, whatever. That's most of our diet. If we have like a 0 calorie drink on top of that, that's not going to throw us off balance.
Exactly. Like I have 5 meals today and all 5 of them, the main ingredients that are in them are like white fish, veggies, beef, sweet potato, maybe white rice. And then like my breakfast,
like
I have like a
all
protein powder for my smoothie in the morning. And then maybe I'll have an energy drink. So if we're just thinking of like, we're doing the best that we can. As long as you're doing the absolute best that you can every single day, you're going to be making progress. And even if you have like some protein powder, or you have like an energy drink or something to hold you over, a 0 calorie snack, just make sure that it's not like your entire identity. The last thing that I wanted to say is that Ian showed me this app called Yucca. And it scans the barcodes of things and it'll give you like a green, yellow, or red marker. Obviously red being bad, green being good, yellow being okay. And it tells you like what's actually in the things.
Yeah.
So
can I tell you, I dated a guy briefly, just like casually dated a guy that was so obsessed with it that like wouldn't not let me, but would like side eye me if I bought certain things. And I was like, let me buy my face watch, bitch.
Yeah,
it's not going to give me cancer today.
You're like, I'm doing the best that I can in all. I can't be 100 in all aspects of my life. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Like I'm going to try, but I'm also not going to buy the $200 cleanser because you think it's better for me right now.
And the thing is that this example that I'm going to use is going to show you that even some of the ones that are supposed to be the best aren't.
Okay.
So there was what I did was I used his scanner and I scanned an oat milk. I had 2 different oat milks. I had one for Zach that is higher calorie. It was like 110 calories for a cup and it was organic. It was from Whole Foods. It's Zach's favorite. Then there was mine, which was 25 calories per cup. Unsweetened, 0 sugar, cashew milk. I 100% thought that the one that I had, because it was lower calorie, was going to be red. We scanned the healthy one. It was red.
Wow. I was actually expecting you to say the opposite.
It also had all of the stuff, the things that were wrong with the so-called healthy one that was higher in calories, but it was supposed to be better for you. And mine was green, the one that was 25 calories per cup, and it was unsweetened cashew milk, clean, 100% clean.
It's probably because it was unsweetened.
It's just crazy. It's like what I'm trying to say is that you don't ever know what is healthy is actually healthy or what's supposed to be 0 calorie and clean is
I want to add, sometimes when things say 0 calorie, they're not. Their portion sizes, if you look at the nutrition label, are so small.
Also,
that they're lying.
They can lie.
Yeah, you can say carb free if it's under like 3 grams or some sort of rule. And if you make the portion size small enough, like the serving size it says, small enough, then you can get it to that 3 grams. So then you can say it's 0 grams.
But you can also say that it's 0 carbs if the fiber count is high enough to where basically it cancels it out, right?
Yeah. It's like, 2 grams of net carb. And it's like, you're still eating 20 grams of carb. Your fiber is just higher today.
Exactly.
It's not real math.
So basically we're all screwed. No, just kidding.
But I think that's why you wrote like Getting Healthy Confused, because it's confusing.
It is really confusing. And this, I think, is so important to talk about. This is the reason people skip it. This is the reason that people go straight to supplementation and training before diet, because it is so confusing. So if you're able to work with somebody one-on-one, I highly recommend it. If not, do your own education and trial and research yourself. And It's going to be a lot of trial and error. And honestly, you just got to fucking deal with that. You can't, anything that we want, we can't just get it whenever we want it, okay? So get over it.
Get over it.
And lastly, what I want to say is everyone's definition of what healthy is going to be different. So don't go judging what other people are eating. Don't comment about what other people are eating. Just like that dude, like stay in your fucking lane. Don't tell me what to eat.
I think you can share your experience without like telling other people what they should and shouldn't do.
Exactly. Yeah. Everyone's definition is going to be different. Everyone has different needs, lifestyle goals. Kendall's gluten-free. She has to eat differently than other people. I'm a garbage disposal. I can eat anything and probably be okay. And
must be nice.
There's not a one size fits all.
Yes.
So let's go into mistake number 3 is thinking that you can exercise a bad diet. I'm going to use this pen to scratch my extensions right now because, whoa, they're tight to my head. Okay, so thinking that you can exercise away a bad diet seems possible to some people, and it can be for some people, but unbelievably hard. I definitely recommend that you go and watch Steve Cook, which is a fine man, can I just say? He's fine. He's one of Gymshark's like OG athletes. Yeah. He's super cute. He kind of reminds me of our friend Scott. Steve Cook. I don't know why, but like the bubbliness that they both
personality
have. Y'all don't know who the person I'm talking about. Anyways, he did a YouTube video trying to burn 10,000 calories because I think what he did was he ate like whatever he wanted for the day. Yeah. And it was like added up to like 10,000 calories. So then the next day he did a 10,000 calorie burn challenge. He couldn't do it. He literally was working out from
way too much.
The start of the day to the end of the day. So what I'm saying is that he tried to do this to show that like exercising off a bad diet is extremely hard, even though people try to do it and can be impossible. I just want to tell you, on average, a meal from McDonald's, which is like a burger meal, because if you go to McDonald's, you have to get a burger. If you don't, you're a serial killer.
I just get fries because I'm allergic to everything.
Because you're a serial killer. Just kidding. No, because you're gluten-free. Anyways, so on average, it's 1,130 calories for that meal. And just to give you an idea, I do 50 minutes of cardio in the morning and keeping a steady heart rate of 135, and I burn about 300 calories. 50 minutes, 300 calories. I'm not going to math it, but try to math how long you'd have to be on the Stairmaster, on the treadmill, steady heart rate, intensity high to try and burn all of that off. Don't do it. I tried to do this so many times when I would go through binge eating episodes, and I would try to cancel it out.
It's it has its own, I don't know if it's a newer eating disorder, orthorexia? Is that what it's called?
I know what you're talking about, but there's like a label for it where you try to work out. It's a form of bulimia, but you're doing it with physical exertion. And I would do that. I would do that where I would like either fast or I would just do extra cardio. And the thing is that in my brain, it made me feel comfortable. It made me feel better, as if I was doing something, as if I was undoing the quote unquote damage that I had done. Yeah. But what I realized for me is that this just reinforced that me eating off plan was bad and that I was a bad person. I should be shameful. I should be guilty. And this carried on to places in my life where I would eat off plan, and I would say that it wasn't okay. So then I was like, but wait, I'm not on a diet. I'm not prepping. I can have this burger, but why do I feel shame, guilt, and all of this thing and feel the need to go and run it off when I don't have to? It's because I built that feeling from back in the day when I used to do that to where it would show up in my life.
I was in the exact same boat, and it took me like forever to untrain my brain into like, hey, you don't have to give yourself almost like a punishment for eating said food.
That's a really good word for it. Like it then you start to correlate training with punishment or cardio with punishment instead of it being something that's good and healthy for your body. So just don't do that. If you do end up going off plan, the best thing that you can do is don't go to the gym immediately and work out and try to burn it all off. Don't fast, because what's going to happen is you're going to get hungrier and you're going to end up probably binging again because you've been starving yourself. All I tell my clients is pick back up where you left off.
Yeah.
The next day, it's a new day. Don't weigh yourself. Don't do any of those things. Just start your diet, because what will happen is you might be holding on to a little bit of water because your body's not used to it, and the amount of salt, fat, and sugar. You go back to your diet.
Yeah.
It's going to end up
just have patience with it. Even if you mess up, I keep like getting mucusy. Sorry. Even if you mess up for like a week straight, even if you mess up for like several weeks straight, like it's never too late to just get back on it. Like you don't have to punish yourself or try to do quadruple the amount of workouts to try to make up for what you did. Like it's okay. Just get back on track.
Yeah, you're human.
Yes.
And this goes into perfectly the next one. Hold on. I think I need a burp, but I'm not sure.
Send it.
That wasn't a burp. It's like a hiccup. That's what it is. I think it's a hiccup. Okay, number 4. Mistake number 4. Relying solely. Yeah, there was a hiccup. On willpower. So this is the mentality of like, I'm just going to eat chicken, rice, asparagus. I'm never going to break my diet. I'm going to lose all this weight and it's going to be amazing. And I'm going to look incredible in a couple of months. Mm-hmm. But also you have to think about, where are you at currently in your life? Are you even training? Are you even watching what you're eating? Have you done any education? Like this mentality of just raw dogging, it. And obviously if you're a bodybuilder, like this is just what you signed up for and that's just what you have to do. But if you're not, relying solely on willpower to just like bring you through and take you through this diet, and you're not going to look at anything, you're not going to smell anything else, you're just going to eat chicken, rice, and broccoli, and you're going to be the like baddest bitch in town. Obviously it could work for a certain amount of time, but eventually it's reasonable to expect that you might have a craving or something, especially if you're a woman. You're going to go on your period and you might wake up one day and want chocolate for no reason.
Yeah.
So
that's like, even bodybuilders often rebound after a prep. Like it's not natural for anyone. I don't care about your level of discipline to diet for like 110% clean for such long, prolonged periods. It's just not, it's not maintainable.
Yeah. And like this approach is the reason why 95% of diets fail. Mm-hmm. That means 1 out of 20 diets are going to work.
Good math.
I saw it in a video. It's not me.
There you go.
Do you think I'm mathing over here?
I was like, that was really fast.
What am I, a mathematician?
You're over here doing ratios.
I don't even know if it's right. I'm just being honest. Anyway, so yeah, this is why so many diets fail. This is why 95% of diets fail. It's because we yo-yo. We rely solely on this willpower to take us through our diet, and then we maybe slip up, and then we fall back into old patterns, and then we lose the motivation. It's not as exciting, and then we just...
Yeah. If you don't set yourself up of, I have to be 100% doing this, then if you do mess up, then you can just get back on.
Yeah.
Versus if you're like, I need to 100% doing this, and you mess up, then you're so hard on yourself. Yeah. And like, then that spiral happens where you're like throwing caution to the wind at that point.
Yeah. So like, don't restrict yourself to the point like of that. Like you don't have to eat chicken, rice, and broccoli.
If I'm not in prep, there is no way.
Like what you can do is like, maybe there's some meals that you have that are chicken, rice, and broccoli, but the other ones, maybe you can make protein pancakes. Mm-hmm. Maybe you can have like, overnight oats where you add like coconut and syrup or honey or whatever it is. Like some meals that are fun, and maybe some meals that are like slightly boring because you just like need to get them in quick and you're at work and you got to get your protein in. Yeah. Like there can be both things and you can make it fun. I have tons of YouTube videos that have really fun recipes. Will Tennyson on YouTube, great recipes. Greg Doucette, great recipes. Also, there's this like TikTok hashtag that's called 15-minute meals. Find those, make them fun, whatever you want to do with your life. Kendall, you do the last one because I'm thirsty and my mouth is dry.
Well, your mouth is dry and my throat keeps like closing up.
My mouth is dry and you're mucusy. Great.
What a good combo. I swear I've been sick for like a month at this point. Like it's okay. It's still lingering.
I think you need some help.
The last mistake number 5, is losing weight too fast, which again, I talked about a little bit last week. A lot of people take that, it kind of ties into like all the mistakes we've talked about so far, will lead you to losing too much weight too fast, restricting too much, going too aggressively. Yeah. That causes burnout, that causes rebounds, that causes unhealthy hormones, a lot of issues, to be honest. The right way to lose weight is just slow and steady.
It's always slow and steady.
Yeah.
And like we were saying earlier, people they don't want it to be slow and steady. Like the thing that I'm thinking about is like, okay, you have spent I'm going to be talking to myself. Because I don't want to yell at you right now because I'm in a mood for yelling. And, but this is talking to my younger self. I spent like so many years not training, treating my body like shit, eating whatever I wanted, drinking whatever I wanted, barely having any water and only drinking coffee. And then I started my fitness journey and like in a week I didn't see results and I was mad about it. It was like, bitch, you've been treating us like trash for 2 years and you want results in a day?
Yeah.
Ha, ha.
Yeah.
No.
What's that saying? It's like one slice of pizza won't make you overweight, but one salad won't make you lose weight. Like
it won't
it's
make
not
you skinny.
that simple.
It's
yeah,
not that simple.
It takes time. A really healthy rule of thumb is like losing around 1 pound a week. If you notice, like at most
0.5 to 1 pound a week
yeah.
is even really good.
Yeah. At most 2, anything over 2 pounds a week is typically unhealthy. You're probably losing
a little too fast.
Yeah,
and some muscle tissue.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. You're losing a lot of like muscle mass at that point, which like I think a good way of tracking progress is doing some sort of like in-body or DEXA scan or something where you can see where you're losing it, because I think a good rule of thumb is if you look and you are losing a lot of muscle mass, you're probably dieting too aggressively.
A little too hard.
Yeah.
A little too hard. And like Kendall was saying, then it's really hard for you to keep it up and not rebound once you move out of your diet phase. And we don't want that. Like that's the whole thing that we don't want to do. We don't want to have to go back to all of these old habits and then you have to do it again and you start the whole thing, you restrict again, and the cycle continues.
I have spent the last 6-7 years of like my competing journey, just for like my own example of weight gain, to put it in perspective. Off season, I would go like, the heaviest I got was almost 200 pounds. I think it was like 198, which like was not healthy for me at all. I had way too much body fat on me. And then I would diet down to stepping on stage around like 155. So that was like 40, 50 pounds I was gaining and losing every single year. And the only reason I was gaining so much was because I would lose that much so quickly and then rebound. I did that for literally 6 years. Maybe not to that extreme. That was definitely like my biggest cut I had. And then in the last 2 years of not competing, I have found balance. I have taken things really slow. This is the first year I've ever maintained a weight. I've sat at 165, which is like 10 pounds above stage weight. I've probably lost muscle. So like, of course, I'm nowhere close to like stepping on a stage leanness wise.
When are you going to, by the way?
Who knows?
I'm just waiting.
That'll be its own episode of my existential competing crisis.
Yep.
But like, this is the first year I've ever just maintained. I've maybe fluctuated a pound or two this whole year, which is like,
I know what
unheard of for me. What?
I want you to compete in summer shredding wellness category and win it.
Maybe. I have thought about that. Okay, we can talk about it at a different time.
Okay, fine.
My goal was, next time I compete, I wanted to do like the amateur Olympia, just because that would be so fun. But I've lost a lot of muscle, so that would require like a whole lot different training for me right now to step on that stage.
Well, then
I could probably do a summer shredding stage. No offense, not saying it's less serious, but it's less serious.
It's a little less serious.
Anyway,
I think, is that it?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, tip number 1. Mistake, actually. It's not even a tip. Don't do these things.
No, don't do these.
Don't do these things. Don't focus on training before diet. Focus on diet first. Mistake number 2 is getting healthy confused. Mistake number 3 is thinking you can exercise a bad diet. Mistake number 4 is relying on willpower. Mistake number 5 is losing weight too fast. I hope this helped you guys. Hope you're enjoying our Shreddy series. Also, update for me. I finally got my body fat into the teens.
Yay.
Bam. And I'm still maintaining muscle mass.
Bam.
Bam.
I really want to go get a DEXA, whatever it's called.
DEXA.
I've never gotten one, and I'm nervous. But I think I need to like be realistic with myself and see where I'm at right now.
Do it.
I will. I'll go this week.
Yeah. It's literally Body Spec, and they have them all over the country. And it's probably one of the cheapest ones that you can find. And they have a membership where it's like $49 a month. So I just go like monthly.
That's not bad at all.
It's not bad. It's really inexpensive.
I don't know why in my head I was like, it's going to cost hundreds of dollars.
I thought the same thing too. And luckily I looked it up and that was like the first one that popped up. And sometimes they even do them at like gyms. But yeah, that's some tips for you guys too if you want to do that. But yeah, we love you all so much. And you're more powerful than you think.
Bye.